number of employees that it might have, but it also goes beyond that. And it says that they have to pay 72.5% at a minimum of a federally qualified plan under the insurance exchange, and for the family, for a full-time employee, they have to cover about 65%. And so what impact is that going to have for your folks in the 5th Congressional District in Colorado?
I thank the gentleman for yielding. That's an excellent question. Just on Monday, I had a town hall meeting with standing room only. It was packed with 600 people there to listen to and debate and discuss health care. And I'm hearing there and at other times from small business owners, Representative Coffman, and I've brought with me some statements that business owners in my district, which is Colorado Springs and surrounding counties and communities in Colorado, are saying about this Democratic proposal on health care. Here's from a man who's a registered Democrat. Quote, "I do not believe the government can do a better job than the private market in providing health insurance." Another business owner said, "We need to put a halt to the rampant government spending. The estimated $1.6 trillion for new government health care, on top of all the other crazy government spending, will bankrupt the economy and will require a significant raise to our taxes. As the owner of a small business in Colorado Springs, I can't afford to subsidize all of these government programs." Another business owner said, "I am opposed to any health care reform that includes a public option, co-op, or any other government involvement by whatever name you may choose. My business training and life experiences have taught me that competition is created in a free market environment and that government only serves to interfere with this process. I do not agree that a public option will introduce efficiency and lower costs." And he goes on to say we should be buying business across state lines, we should have tort reform, we should do some of the free market reforms that we can and should do instead of H.R. 3200.
The gentleman yield back. Congressman Bishop, when we talk about the issue of competition, that you've mentioned some innovative things that Utah is doing, but it is amazing to me that right now, by law, we don't allow small businesses to band together for the purchase of health insurance to get the same kind of discounts that large corporations have. We have a law in the federal books that repeals the antitrust, provides an antitrust exemption for the insurance industry, and small businesses and individuals in particular are limited and can't purchase health insurance across state lines to get the most price competitive policy at the best quality that they can afford. What, in your view, is needed to fix this system? Because one of the reasons why we're talking about the public option is because we're saying that the Democrats are saying there's not competition, there's not adequate competition, so we have to introduce government into this equation. Is there a free market solution to this?
Well, and I think you've gone to I think, what is the crux of the two paths that are offered to the American people in this session. The one path is about a government option, but the only part about options is the title itself. It actually would be a government program that would then be given the power by a small group of people to establish what its competition would be. And so what you're doing is having the heavy hand of government establishing what the options will be and giving them to all people whether they want them or not. That is indeed the very problem the small businesses are facing. There are options right now that do not take their needs into account. What I think we're hearing, and what the gentleman from Pennsylvania talked about in House Bill 3400, what Congressman Shadegg has in his bill, what Congressman Ryan has in his bill, is the idea that if you really want to solve this problem, you've got to attack what causes the price of health care to go up, and that is the lack of competition. Having a government option superimposed does not necessarily equate to more competition. In fact, it will lessen that competition, and that's what we're hearing from those who really understand the industry. I mean, even Margaret Thatcher in 1989 recognized that the healthcare system of Britain, which is once again a one-size-fits-all government mandate, even though there is a private option, does not necessarily help her people. She said it simply meant that once you put the heavy hand of the federal government, or the heavy hand of the British government on them, that it produced fewer doctors, fewer nurses, and that patients who, when they wanted to see a doctor, in some cases had to wait a few weeks, in other cases wait a few years, depending on the area in which they are. Now, what we really need to do is look at other options that are out there that transfer